India brought 271 million people out of poverty between the years of 2005 to 2016. The country's urban landscape is changing very fast. In purchasing power terms, it is the third largest economy in the world, and in nominal terms, it is the sixth largest. India is a nuclear-armed nation, and its military is said to be the fourth strongest in the world. India is already building a bullet train infrastructure, and it also wants to have the Hyperloop. Its space agency ISRO has already reached Mars, and now it is planning to send humans into space. This may all sound very impressive, but India has not managed to fix some of the very basic things, and I'm going to mention some of them in this video. Most of these things require no import of technology from any country, and having them will not only transform the way India looks, but it will also make the country a lot more habitable. Pavements and bicycle tracks. A proper pavement infrastructure is something that India needs desperately. This is one simple thing which requires no special technology, but can deliver many benefits. Proper pavements will encourage more urban Indians to walk to work. An increase in the number of women on pavements should improve the sense of safety. Activities like jogging, skateboarding and cycling will reduce vehicular traffic, improve fitness, and the streets will start to look more organized. Mothers will be able to freely use baby strollers, and the disabled will no longer struggle with their wheelchairs. Yes, something as simple as pavements can reduce fuel consumption and number of deaths due to jaywalking. Disabled-friendly infrastructure. India has millions of disabled people. Every day many of them struggle, as in most places India's public infrastructure is not disabled-friendly. Even most private buildings and properties lack that facility. Shouldn't India try to add more convenience to the lives of disabled people? Air ambulances. India has some of the worst traffic jams in the world, but it does not have a proper air ambulance infrastructure. Why? In a country of more than 1.3 billion, imagine how many lives can be saved every day if the patients can be taken to hospital faster. Poor management of construction sites. By 2021, India is expected to overtake Japan to become the world's third largest construction market. This seems impressive, but India's management of its construction sites largely remains poor. The construction sites in India are one of the sources of particulate matter emissions, which is already a very big problem in many parts of India. Additionally, a lack of safety gear and personal protective equipment for the workers remains a big problem. Chaotic electric wires. India should try to get rid of these hanging electric cables. They look ugly and pose a big danger. Potholes on Indian roads. China and Russia have a high rate of death by road accidents. Unfortunately, India is slightly ahead of them. Many of these deaths in India can be avoided if the potholes are repaired fast enough. The Indian government has been constructing millions of toilets, and the WHO has praised its efforts. However, there is something more which should be addressed, and that is clean toilets on the highways. In Europe, most fuel stations have paid or free clean toilets, which are very convenient. What is stopping the fuel stations in India from building something similar? Frequently, I notice that Indian roads and highways are still being swept manually. How efficient can that be? Why does India not replace that with road vacuum cleaning trucks for faster and better results? India should also speed up the process of cleaning its rivers. It should fix its drainage and sewage system, and it should really do something to preserve its architectural sites better. So far, the things that I have mentioned require efforts by the government. But there's a lot that the common citizens in India can do on their own. First and foremost, waste segregation. Yes, in per capita terms, India produces far less waste than the Western nations. But why is waste segregation at its source not common practice in India? In a country where waste management is a big problem, This is something that citizens can do to make things easier for the government. Indians should also learn how to respond faster to give the rite of passage to an ambulance. They can also learn the art of queuing from the British. Is there any other country that does it better than Britain? Indians can become more punctual. They can also develop a habit of holding the door open for strangers. In the southern region of India, I have noticed that the houses are painted better. Well-painted homes help in improving the cityscapes. Habits like littering or tobacco spitting should be stopped. In the early 19th century, the American habit of spitting tobacco juice disgusted many British visitors. Charles Dickens called Washington the headquarters of tobacco-tinctured saliva. Gradually, the practice declined in the USA. However, in India this practice is not completely dead yet. Some Indians could also have more confidence in their identity, languages, and cultural heritage. Yes, post-colonial identity crisis is not too easy to handle, but attempts should be made to empower those who have low confidence. It is in India's interest to preserve the best that it has and to bring the best that it can find outside its borders. Yes, there are things that India can learn from the West. See you again.